tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G. All right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Truth with G, WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Gerald Graham, also known as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is well with everyone. Hope all is great. Hope you're having a great week. We are headed to the weekend. We are on the downslope one more day before the weekend. Coming off a short week if you had Labor Day off. And I hope you had a good Labor Day weekend, had a safe Labor Day weekend. And hope everybody was responsible in what they did over the weekend, you know, because we don't want anybody to end up hurt or locked up because of foolishness. So, but again, we are back here to talk about these issues. Monday, I wasn't here on Monday, wasn't here on Monday's show, but because of the holiday, it was Labor Day, did not do a Labor Day show. So it's good to be back here on the air with you today. So I want to thank you guys for listening. I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in on every Monday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on WPMM Internet Radio. Also Facebook Live. So, but we're going to dive into a bunch of topics today. So I want you to chime in on these topics because all of them are very, very important. And also, if you want to jump in on the show, I am going to put the link, if you want to join me live on the show, to actually you will be able to get in live on the show and be and talk to me live. We're not doing phone calls, but you can go through the link. You can go through the link. So, but once again, we are WPM Online Radio. We are under the umbrella Changing Horizon Media Group LLC, where WPMM, we play more music. We play the best in R&B, jazz, neo soul, talk, independent, and hip hop, and old school music. You can listen from the website at WPMMradio.com. Also, you can go to TuneIn. You can go to tell Alexa to play WPMM. You can also download the app. You can go to the Google Play Store if you have an Android device. You can go to the Apple Store if you have Apple device. It's a free app. You can also download that app from the website itself, WPMMradio.com. And you can take that on any streaming device, computer, phone, tablet, what have you, any streaming device, you can listen to us. Also, if you have someone who may not be computer savvy or tech savvy, if you will, just text them WPMMradio.com. Just put that in the message field and hit, all they have to do is click on the link, hit play, and they can listen to the show as well. Also, the views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to malign with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, or anyone or anything. And I kind of stopped talking about being sued after reading that that little notification there, that disclaimer, if you will. But if you try to sue, can't sue WPMM because these are my words, and you really don't have a case if you try to sue me because my words are based in the truth. So you can't sue me for telling you the truth. If you don't like your truth, you need to change up what you're doing. So that's how we roll on The Truth with G. So once again, we're not taking phone calls today, but if you do have a comment, drop your comment into the comment section. Also, we're going to put the link up. We're going to put the link up for anyone who may want to join the show live. It's going to be at the bottom of your screen if you are on Facebook. If you're on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share as well. Go ahead and share. Also, if you let me know you're out there, hit a thumbs up, hit a heart, do something, let me know you're out there. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you for listening to the show. We've been over 3 years. We've been on the show, on the air over 3 years now. And I really do appreciate you guys listening. Let's try to go over the topics that we're going to touch on today, just kind of give you an idea of where we're going. and we're going to try to hit on every one of them before we leave today within this hour. But we're going to talk about the COVIDs, the resurgence of COVID. COVID is back out there. We'll talk about that. Um, Also, in the political world, Mitch McConnell is freezing up like ice cubes. And we're going to talk about that and see what the GOP is saying about Mitch McConnell's situation, which they are, we'll talk about it here. Also, members of the Proud Boys, people are willing to go to prison for Trump. We'll talk about them. Their sentences have came down within the last couple of weeks, and we'll talk about those. Also, still got to talk about this local violence because we still got foolishness going on. And after a few quiet days, things kind of jump back off again. And we need to get a handle on this violence. Also, we're going to talk about the presidential election coming up in 2024, November next year. It's right around the corner. It'll be here before you know it. Is Biden too old? We'll talk about that. That seemed to be the consensus here in a lot of polls where they're saying he is too old. Also, back in the Trump world, in the crimes, the criminal aspect of the Trump world, it's being televised. The case down in Georgia is being televised, and I had the opportunity to watch the initial hearings on that, and it seems like that the lawyers for a couple of people that are trying to get the case separate from the rest of them, and we'll talk about that as well. Let's see. Also, it's one of in the Trump world, legal world, one of the workers there at Mar-a-Lago done flip. He done flip. We'll see where that's going. Also, we got to talk about why is Biden polling even with Donald Trump in the polls? What's wrong with people? What's wrong with their brains? We'll talk about that as well. And the government shutdown is looming. Government shutdown is looming. We only have a few days. By the end, I think it's the end of the month. We'll talk about that, the importance of that happening, and a couple other things. People falling in caves and getting lost in caves and all kind of crazy stuff that's going on. So, Miss Savory, good to see you on here, Miss Savory. She says, "Good evening to everyone. We are blessed and still here. Yes, ma'am. We are highly blessed to see you another day. So, thank you so very much for joining me tonight." First, let's start off by talking about the COVID situation. Once again, the link on the bottom of the screen, if you're on Facebook, the link is if you want to join in the conversation live. If you want to join live, also, you can drop your comments into the comment section as well. And also, if somebody can tell me, I switched microphones today. And I tested the microphones, and it's everything was sounding good on my end. But I kind of want to know if I'm clear on your end, especially on the Facebook. I think we're clear on the app, but Facebook, I switched up mic. So let me know if it is coming through clearly, and if not, we'll try to make the necessary technical adjustments. So, but let's start the show. Let's start out by talking about the resurgence of COVID. COVID is back being talked about. It's now an issue again where people are getting the COVID virus. Fortunately, we're not talking about COVID deaths at this point because the situation with the vaccines. But COVID is out there. COVID is out there. I know someone personally who has COVID. And if you're not aware, the First Lady right now has COVID as well. Thank you, Mr. Mike. Thank you, Ms. Dorothy. I appreciate that. But yeah, our First Lady has COVID, but COVID is on the rise again. And I don't think we're going to be in a situation where there is going to be any kind of shutdown of anything of that nature. However, we still need to make sure that we are protecting ourselves, make sure that we are using COVID protocol where we go. We're not in any type of mass mandates or anything of that nature, but if you go somewhere and you feel that you need to be protected, if you're sick, if you feel like you have a cold or a flu or what have you, It would just be honorable, if you will, to mask up because it's not wishing anything on you, but it could be COVID. And if you're masked up, that means that hopefully the mask that you're using, the M95 masks, are the best ones according to what the experts are talking about. But you'll be protecting people around you. So if you're feeling sick, if you got that tickle in your throat, if you got that runny nose, your body ache, things of that nature, if you have those type of symptoms, kind of stay away from people, kind of mask up, go get a COVID test and make sure it's not COVID. And if you do have COVID, make sure you take the necessary protocol to one, get better, two, and two, to protect those around you. And one of the issues that's popping up again with this whole COVID thing is the vaccine. And I really, really, in the beginning, when COVID first came out and they started talking about a vaccine, I was one of those that was highly skeptical of the vaccine because they were talking a lot about the vaccine, but they did not have a lot of knowledge in regards to the vaccine and how it would work. They didn't have the data to compare the vaccine, having the vaccine versus not having the vaccine. And now that we are 3+ years in from the initial onset of COVID, I think the data kind of speaks for itself. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people that still have that skepticism and are still questioning the vaccine, which I don't fully understand because if you're living on this earth, if you were born in the United States of America, if you was born in a hospital, if you attended public school in the United States of America, you have to have certain vaccines in order to enter school. You have to have certain vaccines to go in the military. You have to have certain vaccines to do this, that, and the other. And up until COVID, nobody has questioned any vaccines. Nobody has questioned the validity of any vaccines, and have not questioned. They haven't questioned, what's in the vaccine or who made it or why they made it and what the side effects are. Nobody has questioned a vaccine. And as a baby, you have so many needles stuck in you over the first 5 years of life. And nobody questioned the doctors giving these kids these vaccines. You get the polio vaccine, you get all the flu shot. People take the flu shot every year. You never question where it came from, but all of a sudden you want to question the COVID vaccine. And here's the biggest argument, and this it kind of irritates me to hear this argument in regards to the COVID vaccine. What's up, Mr. Losa? Mr. Losa, good to see you on here. He said, I'm about to re-up on that booster. Hey, I feel you. I'm about to do the same thing. I just hadn't ventured out yet, but yes, I'm about to do the same thing, Mr. Los. Good to see you on here. Congratulations, by the way. Congratulations on Southern Official Online Internet Radio. Southern Official Internet Radio. If I'm saying it wrong, let me know, Mr. Losa. But if you don't know, and I almost put his hat on today, and I couldn't. I had to rush to get on the air, so I couldn't find it. But Mr. Southern Official, Mr. Robert Losi, he has an online internet radio. So it's southernofficial.com, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Losi. Go ahead and put it in the comment section if you will. But yeah, check him out, and also check out his he has a clothing line as well, Southern Official clothing line. Some great products, great looking products. So check him out, Southern Official. He's gonna drop it in the comment section here in just a moment. The where you can get that information. But yeah, check him out. Mr. Losi is a good guy. He was one of the people that when I first came to WPMM, he was one of the first to embrace me as a new person on the scene, new to radio, and I appreciate what he did for me. And he's a good guy, so make sure you check him out. Southernofficial.com. There you go. It's in the comment section. So check him out. Check him out, his apparel. As soon as I work some overtime, I'm going to get one of those jackets that he got. I'm gonna bypass the hoodie because I got hoodies out there. I got too many hoodies in the closet, but I want one of them jackets that he got. So, but anyway, we're going back to the COVID virus. Going back to the COVID virus again. Here's the thing that irritates me in regards to the COVID virus, and this is what I hear a lot of people, particularly us people. You know, when I say us people, I mean us black people. I'm tired of hearing people say I had the vaccine and I still got COVID. The vaccine, and I'm going to say this probably 2 or 3 times to try to get it through. The vaccine does not prevent you contacting the COVID virus. It's not a preventative in regards to getting the COVID virus. It's not going to stop it. It's not going to stop you from getting it. However, the vaccine is formulated and it was produced and is put out there for you not to get very ill or suffer death. That is the purpose of the virus, the vaccine. I'm gonna say it again. The vaccine does not prevent you from getting COVID. So stop saying that. Stop saying I got the vaccine and I still got COVID. Yes, you can get COVID with the vaccine. It's not made to stop you from getting the virus. It's to keep you alive. It's to keep you off that ventilator. It's to keep you out of that cemetery. And no, the vaccine is not 100%. It is not 100%. It's not going to save every life. It's not going to save every person that come in contact with the COVID virus. However, the numbers are better of your chances of surviving and recovering from the COVID virus with the vaccine than there are without the vaccine. When we were at the height of the COVID virus, the number of people that were in the hospitals, the number of people that was dying, the numbers were upwards of 80+% of those people did not have the vaccine. Again, the number of people that was on ventilators, the number of people that were dying, it was 80+% of those people were not vaccinated. I think it was close to 90, but I don't want to say 90 because I'm not very sure. 80, well, to say keep it at 80+. So stop telling everybody that, you know, you'll still get the virus if you get this shot at a vaccine. We know. I'm trying to get you to understand that. But I had COVID. And I am grateful to the God that I serve that prior to me getting COVID, that I got the vaccine. I am grateful to God for that. And the reason why I'm grateful to God for that is because I think that if I had not had the vaccine, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. So, you know, you got to live your own life. You got to do what you got to do, but don't live your life under a myth. Don't live your life under false information. Make your decisions based on the facts. The fact of the matter is, and I'll say it this will be the third time, the vaccine does not prevent you from getting COVID. However, the vaccine helps to prevent you from getting deathly ill or dying. So, all right. Let's switch. Let's go to our local situation because we had a few quiet days. You know, last few shows that I've done, you know, the main topic has been local violence, and we're still with that foolishness. You know, and I don't know what it's going to take for us to get past the foolishness and get on the downslope of this violence, this uptick in violence that we're having in our community. But there was a couple of stories. We had a shooting in Silver Lake in the Pine Forest area the other day, where again it looked like the culmination of a toxic relationship that led to the death of one of the individuals in the the toxic relationship, and it also brought uh, a brother of the female who was in that relationship, brought him to the point to where he is now uh, under scrutiny, if you will, in regards to charges, because he is the one that pulled the trigger, basically trying to protect his sister. And let's take a look at it. And if I act like I can't read, it's because I can't see what I'm reading. So I explain that many a times for my normal listeners. They know that I'm not illiterate. I just can't see what I'm reading. So this is in regards to the shooting in Silver Lake. It says Scammons County Sheriff's Office deputies investigating a fatal shooting of a man who allegedly broke into his girlfriend's house, attacked her, according to the Scammons County Sheriff Department. On Tuesday, deputies responded to the 7300 block of Pine Forest Road in reference to a shooting. A 26-year-old male was located in the residence, deceased from a gunshot. The man's identity was not released at that time. During the investigation, the deputies determined the 26-year-old male went to his 47-year-old. Jesus, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the ages of these people. I read that, but I kind of glossed over it. I didn't. But he was 26. She was 47. But anyway, during the investigation, the deputies determined that the 26-year-old male went to his 47-year-old former girlfriend's residence. He broke down the door and forced his way into the trailer. Gambia County Sheriff Department said once inside, he hit the female several times. She texted her family for help, and her 23-year-old brother, along with others, responded for help. During the argument, the 26-year-old male pulled a gun, cocked it, and aimed it at the 23-year-old woman's 23-year-old brother. According to reports, her brother then shot the 26-year-old male twice. The 26-year-old died from the wounds. At this point, no charges have been filed. This is as of this was Wednesday, by the way. No charges have been filed. The investigation continues. So that's a situation that we had where domestic situation led to the killing of the person that was responsible for the domestic situation, and it brought the family members in it. And I had a show on toxic relationship not too long ago, probably about a month or two ago, and we talked to victims and survivors of toxic relationships. And this is one of the fallouts. This is one of the negatives in regards to these relationships as well, because it don't only affect the individuals that are in this relationship, it affects the family around them, because that family is normally and oftentimes put in a position where they have to defend their family member, and whether they defending or the recipient of the violence, or they're defending the perpetrator, it puts them in a bad situation. And in this case, the brother was brought in because the sister was being abused. The brother was brought in to protect, and now that person could possibly be facing charges. I hope that, in this case, if the evidence show that it was a clear case of self-defense, that this individual do not face charges in trying to defend his sister, especially if this individual who was the perpetrator of that violence pulled a gun and was attempting to do harm with a firearm, because in that situation, hell, I'd have shot him too. So no doubt. So I hope that during the investigation, if it's clear that it was a self-defense situation, I hope that whoever that individual was, we don't have names at this point, hope they're not charged. So, but as it's still going on, and we had a few days of kind of calm. We had a few days of calm here locally, and then things just kind of jumped off again. And going down the road just a little bit, and I'm bringing up Orange Beach, because Orange Beach, in regards to where I live, I live on the far west side of Pensacola. I'm literally I'm literally not even 5, 7 minutes from the Alabama border, if you will, going either way. Um, in Orange Beach, we had a situation, another violent situation that in a situation with another toxic relationship that involved a member of the police department. He was the perpetrator and also fell victim to himself in another case of domestic violence. And this happened in Orange Beach, a murder suicide in Coleman County. Deputies kills himself um, and his dispatcher girlfriend. So apparently, the individual that shot the girlfriend was a deputy, sheriff deputy, a police officer, and the young lady that he was seeing, his girlfriend, also worked for the police department. So if you're just joining us, this topic Thursday, we're going over a gamut of topics today. If you want to join in on the show, if you go to the bottom of the screen, that link, you can actually join into the show live with me and just follow the directions in regards to the link, and we can get you in, and you can talk as well, or just drop your comments down into the bottom of the comment section, um, and we'll discuss your comment as well. But anyway, Orange Beach, Alabama. An Alabama deputy killed his dispatcher girlfriend in Orange Beach before turning the gun on himself, according to deputies. Uh, the Coleman County Sheriff's Office announced the deaths of their dispatcher, Alexis White, and the deputy, Kenneth Boone Jr. Um, I'm sorry. And what it was, again, a domestic violence situation where they still investigating as far as the actual motive and the cause. But it's the statement that sheriff office put out is that the Coleman County Sheriff Office is deeply saddened and mourned the loss of two of our employees earlier today. The sheriff department was contacted by the Orange Beach Police Department to inform us that the incident. The apparent argument seemed to escalate to the point where Kenneth Booth, a Coleman County deputy, drew a weapon and killed the victim. The victim was an employee of the sheriff's office, and two were involved in a dating relationship. Booth then turned the weapon on himself, taking his own life. Again, it's an ongoing investigation, but that's another example of a toxic relationship that's turned violent, to turn deathly violent and a murder suicide. And again, it was in Orange Beach, right down the street from me. Um, and again, another act of senseless violence. And we'll probably do another show here coming up in the very near future in regards to domestic violence, because um, we've had, in this area, in this year, we've had probably, in regards to murder suicides, we have had murders and murder suicides. In regards to domestics, we have had too many. I've reported on several, probably 4 or 5 of them this year that I know of. Again, these are just what I know of. So if you're in a toxic relationship, find your way out, because it's not worth your life. It's not worth you dying or going to prison behind a relationship. And there was another story, and I don't have the story. I don't have the story pulled up, and because it just came to my mind. Um, and I recall posting it, so it's on my Facebook page somewhere. Young lady, again, another domestic situation. Young lady, 40-year-old, had got in domestic situation, and I guess through her boyfriends or baby daddy closed out the house or whatever, and then proceeded to try to run him over with her vehicle. And you know, even though she apparently was not thinking of the consequences uh, of her actions at that time. She let the emotions of the situation get the best of her. Now she is facing serious charges, and at the point in time that I saw the story, there was no bond. Um, I think I found this story, and I'm gonna run through that story as well. But in these situations, these violent situations, again, we're talking about the violence in our local area here. This was on. Let's see. This is coming out of Channel 3 WAR News. Pensacola woman tried to run over a man with the vehicle after an argument. Pensacola Police Department arrested the woman Tuesday after allegedly attempting to run over a man with her vehicle. 40-year-old, I can't say her first name, Tahitha Renee Mack of Pensacola is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery. According to the arrest report, police responded to a disturbance of the call at the apartment complex in the area of W. West DeSoto Street in Pensacola. When officers arrived on the scene, the report say multiple suitcases and clothing were found scattered across the grass, sidewalk, and parking lot. The report states officers made contact with the man who claimed he got into a verbal argument with Ms. Mack, and that turned physical. According to the report, the victim told police that they were trying to leave the apartment complex with his clothes inside the suitcase when Mack threw a portable grill at him. The victim stated that Mack got into a vehicle, began to drive behind him, and then drove up onto the sidewalk where he was walking, accelerating the vehicle. The victim was said he was trying to running. The victim said he was running while Mack was chasing him. The report stated the victim told police he jumped out of the way of the boy being run over. Once he jumped out the way, Mack ran over the suitcases full of clothing. The report says nearby witnesses confirmed the victim detail in the incident and Mack was taken into custody. Again, another domestic situation where apparently he was already in the process of leaving because he had his suitcases there. He had his suitcases in hand, and he was in the process of leaving. So whatever jumped off in that situation, and I have to venture to say that this probably wasn't a first time situation, unfortunately. And that's speculation. That is strictly speculation. But apparently, it looks like one was trying to leave, and the other one was trying to escalate the situation. So in that case, you got to just let people walk away. You can't put yourself in jeopardy. You can't put yourself in harm's way. You can't put yourself in a situation where you are risking your freedom because you're mad. Whatever it was, it wasn't worth your freedom. Whatever you was mad about, whether it was if he ate the last piece of chicken, or if he was having relations with somebody else or whatever, that anger is not worth your freedom. And people in domestic situations don't understand that. They act first. They don't think about their actions until it's too late, until they're sitting in a jail cell somewhere, and then they start to think about that relationship. Get out of those toxic relationships, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. All right. If you're just joining us on Truth with Gio, we are Topics Thursday. We're talking random topics. We're talking local news right now, and this is quite disturbing here. This information here is quite disturbing, and we have some perverts out there in the world. That's why you got to guard your children and make sure you know who your children are around. But apparently, we've got an old pervert, and I saw this story, Channel WAR reporting reports. Damn it. Y'all bear with me just a moment here. There we go. All right. The report says sex offender exposes himself to children inside Escambia County Home Depot. Pensacola, Florida, the 74-year-old sex offender exposed himself to a group of children in Escambia County Home Depot and fondled himself, according to the arrest report. Lloyd Allen, 74 years old, in Pensacola, is charged with exposure of sexual organs, subsequent offense, sex offender violation, loitering within 300 feet of children. The incident happened last Saturday around 11:30 inside the Home Depot on West 9 Mile Road. According to the report, the man said he was attending a craft workshop at the Home Depot with his grandson. Oh my God! And when he first saw Allen crouching down in the aisle 18, and watching the children where he was in aisle 19, the man told deputies Allen was touching himself on the outside of his clothes while watching the children. Report says Allen walked away before returning moments later, which he removed his genitals from his pants and fondled himself with a approximate 20 feet from the 10 to 15 children at between the ages of 5 and 12. That's no sicko right there. According to the report, the man yelled at Allen, walked up to him and grabbed him. Then he walked out. I walked Allen outside the store and kept him detained until deputies arrived. According to the Florida Department Law Enforcement, Allen is a registered sexual predator who is convicted in 2001, 2005, 2014, and 2020 of lewd and lascivious exhibition of all victims were under 16 years old. So this is a habitual pedophile, and um, he had been convicted in 2001, 2005, 2014, and 2020. And I don't want to bring in. I hate to bring up the injustice in our justice system, but in this case, I have to bring it up because it is apparent that uh, privilege had to take place somewhere, because I'm not understanding. You had convictions in 2001, 2005, 2014, 2020. That's four convictions. You are a registered sex offender and you're still out after four convictions. You're still out and about. And I'm not saying that every sex offender should be put away for life, even though I despise sexual offenders, especially when it comes to children. But I know of people who had one conviction, one charge, and been locked up for years, and had got sentences of 15, 20 years, 25 years, 27 years. And this individual has been convicted four times. He is a white man, white male. He's been convicted four times and he's still walking amongst us. Again, I hate to bring up the injustice in our justice system, but it just seems to be where privilege prevails in a lot of these cases. So, but anyway, but we need to, keep an eye on your children. Make sure you watch your children and who's around your children, and because we got some perverts out there that needs to be put away. And thank God that hopefully this time he's 74 years old, so he's not saying anybody that's 74 is about to die or anything, but where he's on the downslope of his existence on this earth. Whether he live another year or he live another 20 years, he's on the downslope. But I hope that in this case that this individual never walks free again. So, but anyway, let's move on. If you're just joining us, Topic Thursday, we're talking about a gamut of topics here today. Let's talk about the Proud Boys. Let's talk about the Proud Boys. If you're not familiar who the Proud Boys are, the Proud Boys are a right wing extremist group. The Proud Boys, their name came synonymous with January 6th, the insurrection on the Capitol, with when they were trying to certify the electoral votes. The Proud Boys were the one of the groups that kind of orchestrated the violence that took place at the Capitol, and a lot of the leaders of that organization have now been sentenced. And my problem is that these people, one of my problems is that these people have been sentenced to whatever sentence they received, and we still have the leader, the kingpin, if you will, that is still out and about, that is still flying in his private jet, his private plane, and is still running for the highest office in the land. And these idiots that follow the orange idiot are stupid to see that the orange idiot cares nothing about them. The orange idiot is going to use you to get what he wants, and then he's going to throw you under the bus. Because these Proud Boys orchestrated this whole coup to overthrow our government because of the rhetoric and the planning of the orange idiot. So these individuals done threw away their life. It was, I think there was 4 that was that had been sentenced. They had been found guilty a little while ago in the courts, and they were just sentenced. But one of them got 15 years, one got 17 years, one got 18 years, and they called the ringleader. He got 22 years. So these people left their homes on January 6th or January 5th or whenever they left to go to Washington, D.C. to carry out the orders of the orange idiot and put themselves at risk to try to honor and protect someone who cares nothing about them. This is the MAGA idiots, the dumbasses on the Republican side of the aisle who thinks that Donald Trump is God. So with these 4 individuals that has been sentenced to 15 up to 22 years, as you sit in that prison cell, as you sit in that prison, as you face those, people gonna know who you are. People gonna know you that white supremacists, and unfortunately, our prisons are full of black people. You know, the population of black people in prisons kind of outnumber everybody else. So these people are going to know that you are one of the ones that spearheaded this insurrection. You are one of the people that buys into the racism and the rhetoric of the right wing extremists, and you push that agenda. So you're not going to have a pleasant time behind bars for these 15 up to 22 years. Again, not wishing anything bad on anybody, but you know, if you're going to be extremist, then you have to suffer the consequences. If you want to follow someone like the orange idiot, then you have to suffer the consequences. My biggest problem right now is, why is Trump still free? Why is he still a free man? I'm trying to figure that one out. One day, hopefully it'll come to me, and you know, I have an epiphany, and I'll understand. But right now, I don't understand why he is still free. Why is he being treated differently than anyone else? The only in-kind treatment that he got was in Georgia on the 4th indictment, if you will. But you know, normally people don't walk in the court. People don't negotiate bond money before you go to jail. There's no negotiations. You get locked up. You go through the booking process, and you sit there and you wait, and you may not be arraigned for a couple of days or whatever, and then once you go before the judge, then you find out, you know, if you're gonna get bail or not or what have you, and then, you know, but that process didn't take place where he had privilege. So, but one thing in regards to his legal woes, if you will, we have a couple people that looks like they have flipped on him. One person that has definitely flipped on him is the IT person at Mar-a-Lago in the classified document case. out of D.C., where Jack Smith is the prosecutor there. The IT guy has flipped. He said, "I'm going to tell everything. I will turn state witness, and I'm going to tell everything that I know, so I don't have to go to jail." So that person done flipped. Um, Mark Meadows, which is the chief of staff, according to reports, he is going to flip as well, or already has flipped. So, if it was anybody else, we would be locked up at this point in time. But because it's Trump and he's rich and he's white, you get that privilege. You got privilege, white privilege, if you will. So let's see what else is going on there. Let's talk about this government shutdown, because the government shutdown can affect all of us, not just people in the government, not people, for instance, like our military, our veterans, our um, federally funded uh, things such as Social Security, things of that nature. All this can be affected because we have people on the right, all these right-wing dumbasses that wants to shut down the government for a couple of reasons that makes no sense whatsoever. They want to attach to these bills that has to pass in order for the government to stay open. They want to attach one of the dumbest things, and this is defunding the federal government and the prosecution of Trump. They want to defund the feds and their prosecution of federal crimes by Trump. They are putting this in a bill, in the bill, in order for the government to stay open. And I don't know if you understand the significance of that. What that does is put Democrats in a position where they have to vote. In order for the government to stay open, they have to vote yes on taking funds away to make this investigation and these charges go away for Trump. The Republicans are willing to sacrifice your well-being for Donald Orange Idiot Trump. This is one of the things that these Republicans who don't give a damn about you, even don't give a damn about other Republicans, only they only concerned with themselves. And these are the lawmakers that we have in our Congress. They also want to cut funding to our efforts to assist the Ukraine in the war where Russia has invaded and taken over Ukraine. They are attaching things in that bill to keep our government open because they want Putin to succeed in taking over Ukraine. Mr. Pugh, good to see you, Mr. Pugh. Also, yeah, they're starting impeachment inquiries in regards to Biden, and Mr. Pugh, if I'm not mistaken, they are trying to attach some of those items as well into that bill as well. If I'm saying that wrong, please correct me. But they're doing these impeachment inquiries on Biden when there's no crime, when there's no evidence of a crime, when there's no evidence of any wrongdoing in regards to Biden. They are launching these impeachment inquiries for no reason, just because Trump was impeached twice. So they have to play revenge politics and try to implicate Biden, and they're touting him as this crime boss. Where all this crime is taking place, where and Hunter Biden. If you turn on Fox News, you don't see anything about all the crimes that Trump has committed. All you see them talking about is Hunter Biden, the damn laptop. The Hunter Biden got paid this by a foreign company to work there, but they don't talk about the fact that the orange idiot is the most corrupt individual, uh, was the most corrupt individual in our government. They don't talk about the fact, they talk about Hunter Biden getting paid by a company um, to work for them, but they don't talk about the millions of dollars that Ivanka made, the billions of dollars that Kushner made while Trump was in office and benefiting. They're not talking about all the deals that Ivanka made with China and this, that, and the other that would put our national security in jeopardy, because again, the Chinese are doing favors for the daughter of the president of the United States, and more than likely, if she wasn't the daughter of the president of the United States, these deals would have never went through. So, but they're not talking about that. They're talking about the damn laptop of Hunter Biden. That they're trying to create a crime that's not there in regards to President Biden, and inquire and launch this impeachment inquiry in the House of Representatives. Unfortunately, we lost the House. The Democrats lost the House. You got Kevin McCarthy, who's an idiot. He's a power seeker. He is willing to throw anybody under the bus in order to get power and to maintain power. He is allowing Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene and the other ex call girl, what's her name? I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but yeah, she used to be a hooker. I see her face just plain as day. Her name skips me right now, but he allowed them to do what they want to do in the Senate. I mean, in the House of Representatives, and McCarthy is silent on all that. So if the government shut down, that's going to affect everyone. It's going to affect people on Social Security. It's going to affect our military. It's going to affect our veterans. It's going to affect workers who are working on our bases. It's going to affect people, because those people aren't going to be going to work, because the jobs are going to be shut down, because they're not going to be getting paid, which is going to affect the local economies, because all the people that work on the bases are not going to be working. So their local economy is going to fall because the people are not going out and participating and buying things and lunch, this, that, and other, because they're at work. It's going to be a big, big mess. And the Republicans are putting stuff in these bills that has nothing to do with the shutdown. We have not had an issue with the debt ceiling. Anytime the debt ceiling need to be raised, it has been raised. But now all of a sudden they want to attach all these appropriations to these bills because they are an assholes. So, but anyway, you got to pay attention to what's going on in the political world, because these things affect you. And that's one of the reasons why I am here, to try to get the information out to you. Also, Mitch McConnell. Yes, I said Mitch McConnell. If you don't know who he is the minority leader in the Senate. Mitch McConnell is he's in his 80s, and I'm not putting down anybody that is in their upper years, if you will, because I'm almost there. I'm getting there, and hopefully we'll get there. But I hope I get there with my right mind. Mitch McConnell has been a devil in the Senate for a long time. He has been a thorn in the side of Democrats for a very long time. He has been compared to being evil. He has been talked about being evil, the most evil man in our government. But he has had episodes in the last 2 or 3 weeks now. He have had 2 episodes where he literally just froze while he was giving a press conference. And when I say froze, it's like he was speaking and all of a sudden he just went silent, just went blank. And he's standing there and he's not responding to questions and people asking him if he's okay or whatever. And he just standing there or whatever and he froze up. Reportedly, he had a concussion recently, and they cleared him or what have you. But the Republicans aren't saying anything in regards to this elderly man who is the Senate minority leader in the Senate. And they are still, because they don't want to give up power, they don't want to give up seats. They take power over morality, over respect. But this man is not capable of carrying on his job. If he did it twice on camera, I can guarantee you this ain't the first. It just didn't happen twice. I can pretty much guarantee you it has happened more than twice. So this man is incapable right now of doing his job because we don't know if he's going to, tape the next episode of Frozen at any point in time. And in order, and I'm not saying that just because you're in your 80s you can't function. Yes, there's a lot of people in their 80s can function. But if you are in your 80s and you don't have the ability to function, that means you need to step aside and let someone who can function with all of their mental capabilities and all the, you need to step aside. But the Republicans are defending him. The doctors that are treating him are saying he's okay. How in the hell is he okay? Well, I think the doctors are lying anyway because these are the same doctors that told that said that Donald Trump was in better shape than any other president ever lived, and they also put him in at 230, 240 pounds when he was clearly pushing 300. But anyway, Mr. McConnell, he needs to give it up. So he needs to give it up. But let's see where we at. Where we at? We are at the top of the hour already. We're at the top of the hour. Let's see what else would I want to go over that I need to touch on. I can wait. We can wait till Monday. This has been an hour well spent. Hopefully, I gave you some information that you can use. We need to pay attention to this government shutdown. The COVID vaccine is available. You can still get it under your insurance. I'm not sure if it's free everywhere. That I'll try to get the information on the COVID, but COVID is resurfacing. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. And again, with the vaccine is not made. It is not made to where it will prevent you from getting COVID. It is formulated and made to where it will help to keep you from getting severely ill, then put on a respirator or dying. That is the purpose of that vaccine. So stop saying I had the vaccine and I still got COVID. Duh. That's the way it is. That's the way it's not going to stop you from getting it. So, be smart. Be smart. And if you're sick, don't go around people. Mask up. If you're feeling sick, go get a COVID test. And if you do test positive for COVID, take the precautions to stay from around people, and until you come up with a negative test to where you can enter back into normal society or what have you. But we don't need to get it in a situation where millions of people are getting this virus once again. So, but anyway, it is about time for me to get out of here. Once again, thank you so very much for listening to the show. I will be back on Monday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on WPMM Internet Radio. So until then, you guys have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Don't do anything stupid. Be responsible. Don't do anything stupid. It's best to call a tow truck or Uber than to get in your car and drive drunk. The DUI costs way more than a tow truck or a Uber. And also, it saves lives. So until Monday, y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I am out of here.